It's that time again where it's the season review. Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I am frankly FM84 and this is another episode of Die Roten Bullen. We are currently out in Germany managing Red Bull Leipzig. So in the last episode you saw the dramatic conclusion of the Bundesliga title running where we won another Bundesliga. So all that leaves us to do is give you the season review for the season that has just gone. So before we get into any of that, please don't forget to hit the subscribe and like button if you haven't done so already. Please do. It helps the channel so much. And I appreciate everybody who has done that recently. It's been such a big help. But if you've done it already and you're wondering what I'm jibber-jabbering about, let's jump on into this season review and show you exactly what's just happened in the previous season. Okay then, here we are. We are on the season review page for Rasenballsport Leipzig, or Red Bull Leipzig. And you can see our Bundesliga trophy sat firmly in the middle of that screen, waiting for us to dissect how the season went. So, as always, we're going to start off with the new arrivals. And as we click on into that tab, you can see some of the signings that we have here. If we sort them by appearances of who's played for the club, you can see that Sidi Sane is coming out as the top performer in terms of appearances, but he didn't actually play for us this season. Sidi Sane has been out on loan as Erdingen, and he has had a good season there. Obviously, in terms of his average rating, he's got a 7.12. Scored 6 goals with 5 assists, but that's not what we're here for. We're here to look at our players. So, some of our big signings. Thales Magno is a player that came from Vasco da Gama, signed in for 19.5 million, played 29 games, scored 10 goals, assisted another 9, got a 6.96 rating. Antonio Rudiger was a player who was offered to us for 14.5 million. We snapped him up. He played 25 games, scoring 1 goal with no assists, but got a 6.95 rating. Our signing of the season ended up being Matheus Arazo, only for £1.7 million, and the board think it's an absolute steal. Not convinced about his wages though, the board, but I think once he starts scoring on a regular basis, they may change their mind. He's a 19-year-old, played 23 games with 6 more substitute appearances, scored 15 goals, got 6 assists to go with that, with a 7.04 rating. Brenner, he came from Cincinnati for 8.75 million. He played 23 games, he scored 14 goals, had 9 more assists with a 7.06 rating. Tonali came from Brescia via AC Milan, I believe. He's £9 million, played 20 games with 1 goal, 2 assists, a 6.68. He's had a bit of a slow start to his career here at Red Bull Leipzig, but I think he's a player who will go on to develop into bigger things. Jeremy Pino was a player who came in from Villarreal, 12.75 million. You can see that word attached to him there, Wonder Kid. He has played 19 games, scored 9 goals, got 10 assists, and a 7.01 average rating for his first season. He's solid. We've got Tariq Lamptey. He was a player who we had to spend quite big to invest in. You can see, where's he gone? Why is he not there? So you can see we transfer fee 70 million in total, which is a right back. What are you doing? It's a position that really was struggling with earlier on in the season. I thought he's a 21-year-old player who's basically going to play that position for the next 10, 12 years. So 70 million, 18 appearances, 1 goal, 7 assists from right back. Got a 6.99 rating before he got injured at the end of the season. So a lot more to come from him. Got Kayo George, who's got that Wonder Kid attached to him as well. 11.25 million from Santos. 14 starts, 8 substitute appearances, 8 goals with 5 assists. 6.92 rating for him. And then we've got Jose Marsa. He's a player who cost £10,000. We've loaned him out. Who did he go out on loan to? He's been on loan at Sparta Prague, and he has been doing well there. We bought Jaime Hardy, not sure. He also went out on loan to Sparta Prague and has had a good season there. We've got Alejandro Salas is a player who came in, 19 years old, we actually paid 13.75 million from Valencia. He's one that the scouts had spotted, I think, in a Champions League game, and we went and snapped him up straight away. I think he will be one for the future. Then we've got a few more players who, again, are for the future. So Edvard Tagseth, he has come in and he's been out on loan, I think, at PSV for both of the seasons that we've had him. Maybe it's the right time to call him back and start playing him for the next season. And then we've got a few players there for the second team that we signed. And then I think some of these players down here didn't really feature for the team. So Bela Kotchap, he's going to join Utrecht on July the 1st. So in terms of the signings in, we've had quite a good season in terms of signings. Players out. So if we go in terms of, can we do it in terms of price? No. How's best to do this? So if we just run through the list. So Fabricio Bustos was a player who we bought in again. He was one of those players who we thought was going to solve a problem at fullback, didn't really work out. Sold him for 4.1 million. Marcel Sabitzer was the one that we lost that was really disappointing. 24 million Arsenal paid in the end, and they activated a release clause. We couldn't do anything about it. Couldn't get him to sign a new contract either to get rid of that clause. Conrad Lima, he went to Bournemouth for 21.5 million. Upamecano went to Bayern in a pre-arranged deal. Hannes Wolf went to Borussia Mönchengladbach for 8.25 million. Yusuf Poulsen got moved on, went to Shakhtar Donetsk for 26.5 million. Huang Hee-chan went to Wolfsburg for 20 million. Willie Orban ended up going to China for 12.75 million. Samodic went to Mallorca for 15 million. And Holstenberg went to Hoffenheim for 6.5 million. Don't think there's any more big names on that list. So in terms of the deals that we did, I think we got decent money for players like Lima. They gave us a C for that deal. Sabitzer we couldn't do anything about. Upamecano again was one that was pre-existing. We got 26.5 million for Yusuf Poulsen. They were disappointed that we sold him because he's a fan favourite at the club and still is to this day. But in terms of the money that was offered, I think that was the right deal, and he became unsettled anyway because he wasn't getting the game time that he wanted. So moving on to the season's results. So as you can see, we won the Bundesliga by 1 solitary point. We did struggle towards the end of the season. We stumbled across the line, lost form badly towards the end of the season, and really did struggle at times. But we got over the line. According to that, we were only expected to qualify for the Champions League. We went a lot better and won the Bundesliga for the second time. Sorloth was our top goal scorer in the league with 15 goals. When we look at the Champions League, they only wanted us to be competitive. We reached the quarter-finals. We were knocked out by the black and yellow of Borussia Dortmund over the 2 legs. Sorloth was our top goal scorer in that as well. Maybe a bit of a unsung hero coming here for Sorloth. In terms of the DFB Pokal, we were expected to reach the semi-finals. We got knocked out in the quarter-finals by Eintracht Frankfurt. Kyle George was top scorer there, and the board were disappointed we only reached the quarter-finals, but not really something. I do want to win the tournament, but not something I'm too bothered about. In the Super Cup, unfortunately, we lost 2-0 in that game to Bayern Munich. So, in terms of our biggest win, the 16-1 win from earlier on in the season against Port Bautzen didn't give them a chance in hell. Played the first team and absolutely smashed them all over the park. Our match to remember was a 4-0 drubbing of Arsenal where Granit Xhaka did his usual thing of getting himself sent off. Sorloth got a hat-trick in that game with Forsberg getting the other goal. And then the goal of the season actually went to Sandro Tonali. A lovely goal from the Roten Bullen defensive midfielder Tonali as he scores a free kick from 30 metres. In terms of the finances, we are still a 4-star continental team. We have no new sponsorship deals. We have £69.01 million worth of sponsorship up from last year. We have 1.19 broadcast revenue, so a lot of loss there. We lost 5 million in terms of that. Corporate and hospitality is up. Competition prize money is up to 147 million. Matchday commercial and retail is up to 2.14 million. And in terms of total merchandise sales, 6.88 million with 688,000 non-domestic. We sold 377,235 shirts. And our favourite player is Danny Olmo, followed by Sorloth, Forsberg, Nkunku, and Lamptey. See if this works. This is dodgy at best. But yes, the how you lined up page seems to be working. So we've got Galaxy in goal, Angelino, Gvardiol, Canate, and Tariq Lamptey. Then we've got Forsberg, Sobolai, Tales Magno, Danny Olmo, Sorloth, and Arazo is how the game reckons we should line up. So in terms of the accolades, I am not German. I cannot speak German. But I think that there says that we won Manager of the Season. It says Bundesliga trainer Des Jares. So hopefully that means Manager of the Season. Anybody who speaks German or can read German, if you let me know in the comments section down below, I feel that's kind of a big deal. All those words should mean something. In terms of the club awards, we've got Emil Forsberg was the fans player of the season. Young player of the season was Ibrahima Kanate. Sign of the season was Matthias Arazo. Goal of the season was Sandro Tonali. Top goal scorer was Alexander Sorloth. Emil Forsberg was top assister with 21. Emil Forsberg was also the best in terms of player of the match, and he got the highest average rating. Most passes completed per 90 minutes was Tyler Adams, who is a player that I need to try and get into this team somehow. He's absolutely brilliant, and I need to try and get him in somewhere. Most goals by a player in a match is Kyo George with 4. Most goals by a player in a league match is Brenner with 3. Emil Forsberg got the most assists in the season with 21. Peter Galaxy got the most clean sheets with 21. Forsberg got the most player of the match with 10. Kanate got the worst discipline with 14 yellows and 1 red. And Tariq Lamptey was the highest transfer in the history of Red Bull Leipzig. So, history in the making. The final screen of this season review. We have got Red Bull Leipzig there, proudly top of the Bundesliga, 1 point clear of Borussia Dortmund. But the massive thing there is that Bayern Munich, at 58 points, are miles behind us. I don't know how, if that is going to continue. That's a 26-point gap to what I would say is the biggest team in Germany. Say that quietly. And I don't know if that will continue. I might even have to have a look and see what's happened to their squad or their manager, or see what's happened there, because that is miles behind. But as you can see by the little review on the end there, Leipzig have been brilliant since day one. Their early season football was a joy to watch, and they are deserving champions. Right then, so that is going to wrap up the season review part. We are going to push forwards now to the start of the next season. I believe it will be the Super Cup against... Oh, actually, I'm not sure who we will play against. I was going to presume it was Bayern Munich, but I think it might be Dortmund won the cup. Whoever won the cup, it will be against them. So I will also unveil any new signings or any players that leave the club in that episode. So stay tuned for that and a new season coming up. So before I wrap this one up, please don't forget to hit that subscribe and like button to help the channel out. It's brilliant, the support that I've been getting from so many people. A big thank you for everything. But for this one, that's a wrap. And I'll see you soon.